guys, welcome to my channel, Chronicles of Yarnia. I like that name, sorry. Okay, I'm Jan. I want to start my videos with a tutorial on how to crochet if you're an absolute beginner. Okay, so I taught myself how to crochet by watching YouTube videos over the winter of 2014. Was living in Michigan with 3 children and was a stay-at-home mom at the time. Mercury was just a baby. Aries was about 2, and then London was in 1st grade, I think. And it was very cold. We were snowed in for about 8 months, a lot of snow days that year. And I was extremely bored and had cabin fever, so the only thing I knew how to do was to make a chain, which I learned when I was younger. My grandma taught me, but I never went beyond that. And that's like step 2 if you crochet. So what I think step 1 should be is, obviously you have to get yourself a crochet hook. You can get these at Walmart. I got a pack of hooks for 20 bucks, but it was like every hook, all the larger colored ones, standard ones, and then these smaller aluminum, I think they are, or steel. I think these might be steel. These are little teeny tiny ones. They are more tapered, like sharper. These are good for tiny projects, doilies and amigurumi and all that stuff. So I also have these little like cheap ergonomic hooks. I like these, but the only thing I don't like is this point right here. This is where I usually rest my thumb, so it kind of hurts after a while. So I just like the regular, standard hooks. for this teaching, this is the eye hook is what I usually use for hats and things like that. So step 1 though is actually going to be how you hold the yarn, because a big reason people's projects end up looking like the stitches aren't consistent. Okay, so all these stitches are the same size, right? But if you get your tension wrong, you'll end up with something that has little loops and big loops, and it doesn't look as good. So I hold my yarn like this. Okay, so I've got it in front of my pinky, behind these two fingers, in front of my pointer finger, and then like this. So you can pull it easily, right? Now, that's part of step 1, okay? I can't really show you how to hold it, how tightly to hold it until I actually crochet. So make a slip knot, which you make a loop. Okay, right now this piece is in front. It doesn't need to be this big of a loop, but you make a loop, hold your fingers right here to hold it shut, push this tail in from the bottom up like this, and then pull it shut. Okay, so what you end up with is a loop that is adjustable. You can pull the tail and it'll get bigger or smaller. Okay, so put your hook through, pull on the tail, this piece, until it's about right there. So not super tight. You don't want to do this because you're not going to be able to pull your tip through that crap. To loosen it, you just pull on the working yarn. Actually, it kind of makes this tight. All right, anyway. So let's get started. So again, I put the yarn through my hands like this. Okay. Up close to this knot. Okay. Because I lightly, with my middle finger and thumb, hold on to this knot. And basically, you just see what I did. You go under the yarn, turn your hook so it grabs the yarn, pull it down and through that loop. Then you do it again pull it down through the loop. That's 2 chains, 2 chains. Okay, that's 2 chains. You keep doing that. 3, 4, 5, and see, I keep moving my thumb and my finger up. I don't keep it on this knot. You want it to be directly below your work, or what you're working on at that moment. So by holding the yarn like this, I can easily pull what I need through my fingers. But if you don't hold on to your yarn, it does that. So you have to just kind of use your other fingers. So what you end up with is, you know, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 chains in this chain. If you know how to do those steps, you're almost there to crocheting like whatever you want, basically. So without even showing you another stitch, because, so let me show you the first stitch and one you can use for any project. We're gonna start with a single crochet, okay? And what you do is, as you can see, the yarn is pulling through this loop, so we're not going to go through this loop. Well, that's the loop we're on. So you, instead of pulling this yarn through, you're going to go through this next loop, put your hook through that hole, then do it again. You do pull it through. And then you end up with 2 loops on your hook. You yarn over again, pull it through one more time, and that's a single crochet stitch. If you do that again, pull it through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull it through again. If you keep doing this, you're going to end up at the other side. Okay, so that was the last one. There's our, we're going to end up with 10 stitches because that 11th is where you didn't go into this first loop, but you went into the second one. So that stitch is right here at the bottom, that first stitch. So what we're left with is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches. Now you turn, so we're at the end of this one. You turn your work, because you always go this way. I mean, when you're starting out. I don't know, there's other crazy stitches. You can definitely go the other way, but and now on this one, we're pulling through this top one. So the directions before were like basically don't go in that hole, okay? You can barely see it, but if you pull this open, you can see that's that first stitch, the space between. So you put your hook through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over again, pull through. And you do that again and again. Hook through, yarn over, pull it through. There's 2 loops on the hook, yarn over again, pull through. If you can master that, I mean, basically if I kept doing this over and over, I would end up with something long. You could make a scarf. If you master this and you make a couple scarves and you get your tension right and all your stitches, you know, are looking good, then you can move on to like making a hat or making basically whatever you want. It is super easy. It looks complicated, you know. I see a lot of people are, I wish I could do that. I promise you, it's that easy. Like, if I kept going, it would build up and build up and build up until it was, you know, long. and you got yourself a scarf or a washcloth or whatever. So you can make this bigger. Instead of doing 11, you can do 25 and then go back, and then it's a bigger scarf. So you do have to really watch how tightly you hold, how tightly you pull your stitches, for one. If you go in and you hold super tight and you do these, you end up with very tight, tiny stitches, right? And you want your project to stay consistent. See how tightly those are pulled? And it's like pulling up on this end here. I don't want that. I am using single crochet stitches, but that doesn't mean it has to be super tight. I crochet a little bit looser, so I go in, I pull the yarn through, and then I kind of pull up so that my crochet hook is perpendicular to my work. See? So horizontal, basically. Then I yarn over again and pull through. Oops. And then do it again. Pull up, horizontal, boom. And when you get to this point, you're holding on like you were holding on to the chain yarn. You're gripping what you're stitching. And so if you notice, when I go through here, I use this middle finger on the back side to feel the hook. It's not sharp, Then when I pull through, I'm holding onto the work, and I kind of use my other fingers to hold, to help. I don't really do anything with this one. Super simple. And that's it.